Start off by saying once upon a time I was a CASA kid. So I was in foster care and I had a wonderful CASA volunteer who I'm still in touch with today and was a huge part of my successful foster care story. And CASA is really close to my heart, and so it's great to be here, and thank you guys all for coming to hear about my programs today. Also, I'm totally open if anybody has extra questions or anybody who isn't here today and is watching this on the recording wants to discuss the programs deeper, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always open to talk with anybody, especially CASAs. So I was a CASA kiddo, and then I really want to focus my life mission on having more kids that come through foster care have a positive experience, because I'm the only person I've ever met that had a really great foster care experience and really loved foster care. And I think especially given the backgrounds that most of my peers come from, I think that that should be a little bit different. And so my mission in life is to improve the lives of children currently in foster care and reimagine a better foster care for the future. And I've done that a couple different ways, including with CASA previously. I've been a CASA, I've worked with CASA in the 18th a couple years ago, and I love CASA. And when I think about who really understands the kids and really understands their needs, and that's always the CASA. And so I always try to connect with CASAs on my cases, and I'm really excited to be here today to chat about the programs. This is Bones, my co-presenter. She's a Basset Hound puppy. So Fostering Great Ideas is a nonprofit, and it came to me a few years ago, and they are based out of South Carolina, and they were looking to expand, and they really value user-centered experience. So people who have been in foster care running the foster care programs, people who have been foster parents running the foster parent programs. And I really love that model. And what drew me to the organization was that it was grassroots. Small programs that really can have a huge impact on the children that they can serve. And all the programs, even though some are a little similar to stuff that we have here in Colorado, all the programs were greatly needed here in our community. And so for the last 3 years, I've been slowly building this nonprofit here in Colorado. And we have a lot of available services. And so I'm really trying to get the word out there so that we can serve more children in 2021. And especially serving more children in Adams County, because we only have a couple Adams County cases right now. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there if anybody has any questions, and then we'll go into the programs. No questions? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and you guys can unmute at any time and interrupt. That is totally fine. Can you guys see the snowy trees? All good? Okay. So a little bit of background about Fostering Great Ideas. It is a 501c3 nonprofit that is focused on improving the lives of children in foster care. It started in South Carolina over 10 years ago, and we are just now getting to the point in Colorado where we can expand outside of the Denver County area. So with COVID, we had a couple challenges that really turned into amazing opportunities, and we've been able to make some of our programs statewide, but all of our programs are including Adams County because our in-person service delivery is the Denver metro area, which includes most of the Adams County. So the first program I want to dive into is Sibling, and we have a lot of programs. I picked, I think 5 that I think are most likely to be used by CASAs, and I have been a CASA, so I'm just using my own personal experience as a CASA and then my experience as a child with a CASA, and of course Sibling had to be #1. My CASA is the only reason that my siblings and I saw each other when we were in foster care, and we all lived really far apart, and that was a big heavy lift for her every single week to get us all together. And I know from working with CASA that that's a heavy lift that's common with CASAs that have siblings that are living separately. So Sibling, I think, is the program that can support the CASAs the most and the kids that you're working with the most. The sibling program is Sibling Visitation. Our in-person program is once a month. We do a super fun activity. The CASAs that I have love coming on these and being the second chaperone with me, and we love that as well. We take care of all of the costs and everything. We let the kids pick the activities sometimes, and we go and have a super fun, memorable day with the siblings. That's once a month, and that is the core sibling program. Now with COVID, we couldn't see the siblings for a while, and that was never going to be okay with me. Sorry about the pop-up, guys. That was never going to be okay with me. So we started doing virtual sibling visits, and at first they were just kind of, you know, Zoom calls, at least to get the kids face-to-face for a little while. Since COVID started, I've worked really hard on building the intentionality out with that program. So now we have games, we have drawings that the kids do on Zoom, we have contests where different sibling groups compete with each other on our social media. So the virtual visits have really been beefed up to be this really great experience for the siblings. I'm really sorry if the puppy's making a lot of noise in the background. The requirements for sibling in person are within 75 miles of the Adams County Human Services building. So most of our cases, I think, fall within that, and then within 75 miles of each other for the houses. For virtual, it's open. So statewide, as long as at least one child in the sibling group has an open dependency and neglect case and the siblings have not had meaningful contact in 90 days, they qualify. Our program Sibling is really meant to complement and enhance the work that child welfare, care providers, and CASAs are doing to bring siblings together. So anytime an extra sibling visit or an extra sibling connection would be of value, our sibling team comes in to provide that. Does anybody have any questions about sibling or how it works? All right. And we do have, oh, go ahead.
If one of them is in foster care and the other is not in foster care, is that still eligible for this service? Okay.
Yes. Part of my mission is looking at the kids that fall through the cracks, and the kids who fall through the cracks are the ones that don't fit nicely in our foster care box. And so kids who are not in foster care because they're able to stay with a parent who maybe they're a half sibling, kids who have been adopted, any type of, you know, different placement type, we're willing to tackle. The challenge with that when they're outside of the system is that the parent really has to be an advocate for the sibling relationship. But most parents become advocates after they meet me if they weren't to begin with.
Okay, great.
We can also go across the states with the virtual. So we have some cases where one kid was adopted or a kid was ICPC'd to another state, and those kids need sibling connection. In the virtual sibling program, we can get them together once a week or every other week for an hour. And that it really means a lot for the kids, especially when they haven't seen each other in a while. I think one thing that comes up a lot with siblings that I'll just mention is that the siblings have the ability to call each other, or the caregivers know that they can, you know, get the kids together. I think that that's really where we come in with our enhancement of what can already happen with what can regularly happen, and just kind of making sure that the siblings are getting together on a regular basis. All right, if you guys have any questions about sibling, feel free to ask them at any point. Okay, the next, excuse me, the next program we have is our newest program. It's called Tutor Match. And Tutor Match, I think, is hugely needed right now, particularly this school year when everything is so crazy and a lot of kids aren't getting the one-on-one support that they would normally get in the schools. Also, families, particularly, I think, foster families that have a lot of school-age kids are really struggling to do the extra mile with the education when something's not clicking, or we just need a little bit of extra help. And I'm right there guilty too with my kids, is being like, they're already doing so much, and it's already a heavy lift for all of us that are supervising remote school and working. So Tutor Match, I think, is here to reduce that burden a little bit. It's either a half hour or an hour, and we can do once a week or every other week, where our volunteers come in, and it is virtual right now. We can do in person in the Denver metro area when the COVID restrictions lessen, but it's virtual right now. And the tutors are volunteers, so they're not professional tutors, but we train them. And really, I think the big value with our tutors and our volunteers is that they encourage the student, and they're just an extra person cheering them on, reminding them that they're smart, and helping them work out the problems. And so there's, I think, a huge value in the mental health side of it, and also the confidence side of it. And all of our tutors are capable of handling the subjects that our young people are struggling with. And then we do have some really great tutors that are teachers, and I kind of keep them in my back pocket for when we have the really hard math and some of those other really difficult cases. But the Tutor Match program is open. I have lots of volunteers who are waiting to be matched with a kiddo, and it's statewide. So any kiddo who has an open dependency and neglect case, even if they're at home, can receive this support. And we also go all the way to college. We have a college program that I'll talk about a little bit later, but a lot of our college students use tutors, sometimes even for just one-time study sessions, or for one semester just for a subject. Does anybody have any questions about Tutor Match? All righty. College Fellows is our college support program, and it's called College Fellows, and it's really designed for the young person who is a teenager or a young adult who's in foster care or has been in foster care, who's looking to explore that next step in their education, or the college student who was in foster care or is in foster care, who's looking for some additional support around signing up for classes and being organized, scholarships especially, and managing resources and life crises. So the College Fellows program is for any youth 16 and up, and any youth is eligible for the College Fellows program if they experienced foster care after age 13. That mirrors the federal guideline with the Pell Grant. And really what we do with College Fellows is a coaching model, and it's a youth-led coaching model. So the young person tells the coach what they're struggling with, what goals they have, and they work together to create steps that the young person and the coach work together to complete. And the College Fellows program is voluntary. So I have some college students who it's almost an everyday, checking in, making sure that they're staying on top of everything. They need that regular encouragement. And I have other college students who are really interested in the scholarship support, and I meet with them less frequently, really around their scholarship needs. So I always say the young person drives the bus with College Fellows, and they tell me where we're going and how fast we're going and when we're going to get there. And I'm there to be the navigator and to help them figure out the best places to stop to find the resources that they really need. Does anybody have any questions about College Fellows? I also work with young people who don't take a traditional route. So a young person who goes to an apprenticeship program or a technical school, I'm also willing to help support those young people. And I think that college isn't always college, but there's not a lot of resources for people that don't take the traditional route. Anybody have any questions about College Fellows? All righty, we're just moving along. Speak Up is probably my favorite program. And Speak Up is our advocacy arm, and it's all about voices from foster care. So the primary customer for Speak Up is the person who is in foster care or has been in foster care, who really wants to use their voice and work collectively with others to improve foster care. So we do advocacy work. Right now in Colorado, we're working on advocating for a tuition waiver with the Department of Higher Education. We're also working on some of the rule package that's rolling out over the next 2 years about reentry and supports for youth after they leave foster care. Nationwide, we have supported housing reforms to create more housing opportunities for former foster youth with the FYI initiative with HUD, as well as several other opportunities. And really the whole point of Speak Up is to bring youth voice to the table and to do it in a way that is respectful and honest, but also empowering for the young person. So it's all about advocacy, and everybody can be an advocate. Even the young person who's in foster care is just as powerful of an advocate as you know, someone who's working in Washington in an elected position. And so that's really my goal with Speak Up, is to help young people see the power in their voice and find the best opportunities to use their experiences to make change. In my personal life, that has helped me heal from my trauma more than anything else, is really using the painful things that I've been through to make it so that other people don't experience the same pain points. And that's what I'm trying to duplicate and give to all of the youth in the country who want to join this program. So this program is nationwide. We do an introductory training called Action Behind Advocacy, and I offer that 4 times a month. We just had one yesterday. We're having another one on the 29th, and anybody is welcome to attend that training. It's really designed for the young person in foster care, but allies are also welcome in Speak Up, and allies are anybody who has experienced foster care in a different role, such as a CASA, or someone who hasn't experienced foster care but cares deeply about changing foster care and improving it. So we have the Action Behind Advocacy training, and then we also do Foster Think Tank. And Foster Think Tank is a voluntary discussion series we do over Zoom, mostly finding people on social media and connecting with alumni on social media. And we do it every Saturday twice, and it's the same topic. This upcoming Saturday, the topic is family connections and normalcy, what every foster child has on their Christmas wish list. And we're really going to be talking about what was Christmas like, what were the holidays like, what did you want that you couldn't have, and how can we address those feelings in children living in foster care now and support them. And so we're going to take all of the input from the Foster Think Tank this Saturday, and I'm going to write a blog that'll go out to all of our foster parents in our foster parent community to support the children that they have in their homes this holiday. So every week has a different topic for Foster Think Tank, and then it also has a different action step that we're taking with the voices that are shared. Does anybody have any questions about Speak Up? All right. The last program we're going to talk about today, we went through this way faster than I thought we would. The last program I'm talking about today is Moms Matter. And Moms Matter is the only program that I don't manage because I can't. I don't have the right type of expertise for it. Moms Matter is a supportive program and coaching program for moms who are working on their reunification program. And the person who runs that program is a mom who has successfully reunified. And that's why I don't qualify for that position. The Moms Matter program is one-on-one. They also have a support group that meets virtually once a week. But they do one-on-one coaching, really helping the mom work through her goals, work through her treatment plan, and stay focused on reunification. And then the support group, which is a peer-to-peer support model is wonderful because it's moms from all different levels in their case. Like there's moms who are about to reunify, chatting with moms who just lost their kiddos. And it's so powerful to see the connections that they're able to build and how they're able to empower each other is really cool. So that program you can get to through me, but Marissa Gore is our Moms Matter program manager. And like I said, she's a mom with lived experience, and we value lived experience more than anything else with our organization. So I think it really helps us connect with the clients. Does anybody have any questions about Moms Matter? Does anybody work closely with the mom on their case and think that this might be something they would be interested in?
I'm definitely curious a little bit more about this one. So we have a case that's been open for several years, and here I can go on video too. That's been open for several years, and we've been going through the teenage daughters in foster care, and we've been going through, mom really, really wants to work on it. She makes a little bit of progress, and then nothing happens, and we're back where we were 6 months ago, and that's happened about 3 times. We know she has some mental health issues, but when you think about a case like that, have you seen this help? Could that help in this situation?
Yeah. So Moms Matter is another one where I like to look outside and think about who's slipping through the cracks. And we are open to all different types of moms with Moms Matter. So we've been able to support moms who can't reunify and reunification isn't possible. We've been able to support moms who can't reunify but are able to have a relationship with their child in a different role, in a different capacity, really work through what does that look like and how is that best for their child. So I think that might be what's missing for the mom that you're talking about, is that community support. And it's almost like within the AA model, having a sponsor, somebody who understands what you've been through and you can call at any time when you're struggling, when you're successful, when you need help, when you need someone to celebrate with. They're there. And I think a lot of parents don't have that.
Okay, it's definitely one to consider. I'll run it by my team and see what they think as well. But I think that might definitely be an option on this one.
So the referral process is really easy. I will drop in the chat my website as well as my email for you guys if you'd like to reach out. All of our referral forms are on our website and they all take less than 5 minutes. Some of them take less than a minute to complete. CASAs can complete the form. Actually, anyone can. We do require caseworker approval. So even if the judge sends in the referral, I always get the caseworker's approval before we move forward with services. So if it's CASA, foster parent, caseworker, GAL, anybody on the case can send in referrals for us. And then as long as the caseworker agrees, we go ahead and get started. And those can be found under the Resource Center on our website. All of our programs are also on the website if you guys want to explore any more. I didn't talk about every program today because I thought this would take a little bit longer, so I can chat a little bit more about some of the other programs if you guys would like, or if anybody has any questions, I'm always available to chat.
Well, Tori, do you mind running through? I know probably the PowerPoint isn't there, but just giving us an idea of your other programs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me. So one of the programs that we partnered with other CASA agencies on is our Carry On program, and Carry On is luggage. So I do drives where people will get all their friends to donate luggage, and we collect it, and then we get different partners that we give it to. But the whole point of Carry On is so that young people don't move in trash bags anymore. We always moved in trash bags when I was in foster care. And so anytime a CASA has a move coming up and luggage is in need, they can reach out to me through the CASA agency, and we can get the luggage to the CASA agency or to the CASA, however it works easiest. So that's Carry On. One second, I gotta help the puppy up. She hasn't quite figured out jumping on the couch. Sorry, guys. Thanksgiving Grace is another program that I love, and we weren't able to do it this year with COVID, but every Thanksgiving on the Saturday before Thanksgiving, we host a family meal that is for the family. So mom and dad get to have a Thanksgiving meal with their kids, and we do family photos. We bring in professional photographers, crafts, all kinds of really fun stuff so that they can come together. This year with COVID, we weren't able to do it in Colorado because the restaurants shut down. But in South Carolina, we partnered with Cracker Barrel. And so we had the families in different areas, so everybody was social distanced. And we did it that way. Normally we do it with churches, and all the food is home cooked by volunteers. And it's just a really great event that sadly we weren't able to do this year. And then let me just pull up my programs really quick to remind myself. Oh, life support, of course. Life support is our mentoring program for teens in foster care. And so we have volunteers come through our training process. Everybody that works with our organization, volunteer or staff, goes through a very rigorous background check process, and we do state, local, federal, everything for that. But so we train these mentors similar to CASA, but not court involved. And they're really just matched with a young person to help them with their goals and to be there for them long term. And so our mentor program in South Carolina, it hasn't caught on in Colorado yet, but in South Carolina, we've served over 300 young people with a mentor, and we've had over 10 mentor adoptions as adults where they adopted their mentee once they became adults, which is really cool. And we have over 20 connections that have been over 5 years. So lots of really cool connections there in South Carolina. In Colorado, the mentor program hasn't caught on. I do have a bunch of people who have come through the volunteer training, but we haven't gotten any referrals that aren't very, very, very specific. Like I've got one, they want a deaf mentor, or yes, a deaf mentor. And then I've gotten another one, they want a Native American male from a very specific tribe. So that's been a struggle, to getting very specific referrals. But so that program hasn't taken off as much, but we do have it. Oh, sorry guys, I think UPS is coming up. Does anybody else have any questions? I think that's probably all the programs other than our foster parent programs, which are kind of separate, but we can chat about those. I'm really sorry about the dogs.
Please don't worry about it.
So our foster parent programs are Care to Foster, which is a website and a blog, and that's for foster parents. It's a support network. And then with Care to Foster, we also have Share Fostering Colorado, which Share Fostering is one word, and that's our Facebook page, and that's for foster parents, but it's also for anybody who's an advocate for children in foster care. So feel free to join that one if you're on Facebook. And that's our foster parent support network. So when I was talking about Speak Up and I said that we're going to use the voices from the Saturday's Foster Think Tank to write a blog for our foster parents, we'll be publishing it on the Care to Foster site and sharing it on all of our Share Fostering pages. And someone asked, how can they volunteer with my organization? Coach, excuse me. Sorry, guys. it's easy to volunteer. We do volunteer opportunities ongoing for our Tutor Match tutors and our life support mentors. But like I said, the life support hasn't really taken off, so I don't talk about that one as much. And then we also have one-off opportunities to volunteer. So with Carry On, our luggage program, every once in a while we'll have like a huge drive and we'll need like 10 people on hand to help handle that. Every year for Thanksgiving Grace, that requires about 50 volunteers. And then we also do Siblings with Santa when it's not COVID, and we can have a holiday party. And that's always volunteer opportunities as well, kind of more one-off volunteer opportunities with that. And other opportunities to volunteer exist really within our College Fellows and Speak Up. So I love connecting with people who are interested in foster care, especially our older youth, because what our older youth really need is to hear from all kinds of different people with all kinds of different backgrounds so that they can be exposed to careers that they've never thought of. And so one of the coolest volunteer opportunities that I like to connect people with is when I have a college student who's really interested in exploring something, I'll go out on LinkedIn or through my own personal network and find somebody who has that as their career so that they can do either a job shadow or even just a chat to talk about what it takes to be that and what it looks like. And that's a really cool way to volunteer as well.
There was another question about the name of the foster group on Facebook.
And I will just type it. So Share Fostering is one word on Facebook. And there's a couple questions that you have to answer for membership just so we make sure that we're not getting random people or bots. Sherry, do you mind if I didn't see your chat come through? It would have been so helpful when you had a foster daughter. Which program were you referring to? Oh, I don't.
Sorry, here I am. The tutor one, I recognize with my foster daughter and a CASA kid, like tutoring is a huge thing because they're all just so, no, I shouldn't say they all, in my experience, the ones that I've dealt with are just so far behind with school and really struggle. And so I think that tutoring one is huge.
Mm-hmm. And the Tutor Match program, just what you're saying, like the student who's behind, and it's not just because of moves and things like that. Like it could be because they didn't turn stuff in for 3 days and that was to go and they've been behind since, you know, just trying to play the catch-up game. And the tutors that we have been able to match here in Colorado, that's a lot of what they do is helping with the organization. Our kids who are in middle school and high school right now, and they have like 7 different Zooms that they go to every day, turning in the assignments they're supposed to do during that time or the assignments that they're supposed to do after. There's not a lot of accountability there. And so one of our tutors, like accountability is what she tutors in.
Oh, wow.
So she's really just helping with time management, checking to make sure that all the assignments are done, making a plan to do the assignments that aren't done. And that's what that young person really needs. He doesn't need someone to sit with him and help work through the math problems. He needs someone to say, on Monday, you have to do this. And then on Tuesday, you're going to do this. And then for that same person to come back a week later and say, did you do everything like we agreed? An accountability partner is really what he needs in a tutor. And that's, you know, what we're able to provide. Also with Tutor Match and kids who are behind, we have a surplus of volunteers right now. So if we have a kid that's really behind and would like extra support right now, we can give them 2 tutors.
That's amazing.
Tori,
Tori, I have a question.
Go ahead, Anita.
Sorry, Becca. It's not in regards to your program, but mainly about you. How how would you say your CASA advocate helped you get through your trauma? And I guess I just would like some pointers on what did the CASA person do, for you? Just, I guess, just to help me get some pointers for my kids.
Yeah, definitely. My CASA is amazing, and I hope that I did some of the same things with the CASA kid that I had as a CASA. She just turned 4. She's adopted, and I still stay connected with her. But so my CASA, I think, and I was a teen, so I think that's important. I think more than anything, she met me where I was at, and she heard me. So I was angry, I was really angry. And I think too, I recognized as a teenager that I really liked being in foster care a lot more than being at home. And that wasn't the norm. And the team didn't really understand where I was coming from with that. And my CASA was really able to help people understand where I was coming from, and was able to have long conversations with me, one-on-one, where I felt safe, and I felt like I could share how I was feeling and what I was thinking and what I wanted, and I was heard and I wasn't argued with. And that was the only person I was getting that from. And so there was that. The other thing is, so when I got a CASA, at first I thought that she was another caseworker, and it wasn't really explained very well to me. And so once I realized that she had a whole other job and wasn't being paid to spend time with me and to help me, that just totally opened her up to me. Like that, there was a wall there where I was like, you are a caseworker and you are paid to be here and you are studying me. And then once I knew that wasn't the case, I just felt like she was, that something about that made her safer and more approachable to me. She also was in a field I was interested in, and actually I'll still do everything that I'm doing, but because of my CASA, I've still been interested in the real estate field, and I started doing real estate school recently because it's something that I've just always been interested in from chatting with her. And I didn't go that route, but I'm still really interested in it. So I'm trying to build my education base a little bit around it too. So I'm in my 30s now, and I still reach out to her when times are hard, and she's there for me to be encouraging and to let me know that I'm capable of all the things. So I think more than anything, with my CASA, it was really about feeling safe and feeling heard and feeling respected. Like my opinion wasn't what everybody else wanted me to do. And my CASA was the only person who was like, she's not going to do it. So we need to listen to her, and we need to understand where she's coming from. And I really appreciated that about her. Also, sorry guys, the dogs are getting restless on this Zoom. I was a parentified child, so when I did live with my dad, a lot of times he wasn't there for extended periods, and even then when he was there, I was always responsible for the younger siblings. And so when I first met my CASA worker was 2 weeks after my siblings had moved to a different placement, and I was mad, and I told her that I was mad, and she made sure right after our first visit that I knew where my sisters were, and I had the opportunity to talk to them for the first time. And that was huge. That was not just someone coming in and saying, I'm going to help you, but someone actually helping me in a way that mattered to me more than anything. And I also think on that same level, anything that happened with my sisters, moving placements, hospitalizations, surgeries, things like that, my CASA was the only person who told me. And so I always really appreciated that she respected that I needed to know.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course. I love CASA. I'm always happy to talk about it. Book me for your next fundraiser.
Watch out. I have this on recording.
Does anybody else have any other questions about the programs or any personal questions? I'm an open book, happy to answer any questions.
If we put in a request for services, about how long from the time we request it and does it usually actually start?
So it depends on the program and it depends on the other players. So like right now, it's like within the same week, we're getting started. So if I get a referral, I reach out to the caseworker immediately. And then as long as I hear back from them within a timely fashion and they're in agreement, we get started right away. So like with Sibling, I get all of everybody's phone numbers and from the caseworker, and I get her approval, and then I get off the phone with her and I call everybody and we get started on the first visit. Now, does everybody get back to me? Can people make visits? Are people okay with this? That's where the time really goes into. We don't know with people reaching out. And then with Tutor Match, I get a referral, and how I'm doing it right now is a little bit different because we have a lot of tutors waiting. So I'm figuring out what the highest needs are for the young person, and then what the very best time is for them to commit to tutoring. And then I'm finding a tutor that can match within that. And that sometimes only takes 10 minutes and sometimes takes a couple days depending on the time slot and the needs. But we have a lot of tutors right now waiting. So the Tutor Match program is going pretty fast. Also, because the school year or the semester is ending basically this week for all the kiddos, I'm putting all the Tutor Match people in January. So we're starting when school starts again, unless the foster parent or caseworker says like we really want to focus during the break. So right now we're setting it up, and then we're getting the match made, and then the first tutor sessions will be starting the second week of January when school starts again.
That's much faster. I feel like in some of the other services you requested and like 3 months later, it's like, has this started? And it still hasn't. So sounds like you're moving very fast. And I'm not sure why I have my blinds with the new winter hours. Small stripy.
No, I had to move a little bit because my Christmas tree was giving me some weird shadows. Yeah, we're really small and I wear a lot of hats. So a lot of the bureaucracy happens between these two ears, and that makes things move a lot faster.
Try to maintain that as this becomes more popular.
Oh, I have a plan. I have funding too. I just need more referrals to be able to bring on more team members.
Well, we'll definitely get the word out. We're going to add you to our list of referrals.
Awesome.
And so that people know, especially because they can probably get some things going right away. It seems like those pieces that can get kind of sticky when we're trying to get, siblings together and all of that, you guys are really filling the gap, and will be very valuable for our kiddos for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's what's really great about the programs, and I think maybe that's what people don't get, is that we're enhancing what's already happening. So we're not just trying to serve the kids that haven't seen their siblings in a long time. Like, we still want to serve the kids that have seen their siblings recently. What we're really trying to bring to the table is that siblings deserve to see each other every single week, and they deserve to have regular communication. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been wonderful, and it's a wonderful opportunity to wear my CASA shirt. I forgot how much I love this shirt. Have to put it back into my regular rotation.
Well, we'll definitely be seeing more of each other. We sure do appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead. Oh, it looks like you did it. You put in your contact information. So Jean, if you can hear me, there it is. That's what I was going to send you. So yeah, thank you all. I will be putting your hours into Optima, maybe not today, but I'll get them done eventually. And if there's anything else, it sounds like reaching out to you directly, Tori, is the best way to go. And then yeah, we'll go from here. We'll be seeing more of you.
Definitely. Yep. Reach out to me directly or go to the website and fill out a referral form. either way, starts the same process.
Right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you everybody for being on.
Yes, thank you.